Don't be defeated by the fees
that they don't tell you about.
Hi, this is Genein, your financial and creative expert, and I am with Miss Jimena Rodriguez, and she is a teacher at the school that I teach at, and she was in the presentation that I gave about retirement accounts, our pension, and what to look out for. First of all, let's look at the pension, the teacher's pension in California. What were some new things that you didn't even know about?
First of all, I didn't even know we weren't receiving Social Security. I'm like, da-da, Social Security, oh no. And then I'm like, wait, teachers don't get Social Security? We get a pension, what? So that in itself was a shocker. And it's interesting to hear that you don't get they account your last 3 years or your 3 highest paying years. For me, that was in itself a shocker, because I'm like, how am I only getting the 3 last years? It didn't make sense to me.
So there's a lot of factors
There's a lot of things we don't know.
That we don't know. And I went to a CalSTRS meeting, and I was the youngest person there. Like, I went with my mom, who retires next year, and I look around, there's people who retire in like 3 months who haven't even known any of this stuff. So I firstly believe that it's important for young teachers to be in those meetings, like almost like every 5 to 10 years. To catch up. But the main reason why I gave the presentation was to give teachers information about their voluntary, their retirement accounts, aka our 403Bs. What were some surprising tidbits that you got from that section?
I wasn't aware of the management fee that came with it when it doesn't need much management. So for them to charge 2% of a management fee when it's just, all you gotta do is click some buttons, I'm thinking 2% of my money is a big chunk of money.
So I chose to put in $50 per paycheck. And so I did my calculations. In the past 6 years, I put about $5,000 since we moved with the new company. How much did I pay in fees? Any guess?
Wow.
I did the calculations about 2 weeks ago. I almost cried in front of my baby. So I got a graph that was given to me by one of the companies that offer the 403Bs, and just looking at the amount of fees. So the company that I wanted to go with, if you just put in $10,000 and just left it there, and this company has 0.25% fee, as opposed to putting $10,000 in a company that has 2% fee. Looking at this graph, and the blue is the 0.25, the low fee, and the green is the high fee. After 25 years, assuming a 5% rate of return, the blue is almost at 30,000, but the green is just hit over 15,000.
Right.
What were your thoughts when I showed you this?
It's a real gut punch, because you think you want to go up, you want your money to go up, you don't want to go down, and to see that management fee is what gets you. That's why doing your homework about these companies is so crucial, but you want to trust that these companies have your best interests at heart, but they're only looking out for themselves and what makes them money, not the person investing in them. So you want to be with the blue. Obviously you want your money going up, you don't want it staying pretty much at the same amount that you're putting in.
And it's almost half.
Yeah.
You lost almost half of your money just by
those fees.
So
those fees.
Oh yeah. So the fee. Oh, there should be a funny quote with it, like fee.
We are defeated.
Don't be defeated by the fees
that they don't tell you about.
Yes. 2% on the balance. That's what got me, because there's other companies that we found, like Vanguard or CalSTRS Pension 2, that it's only 0.25%. Right. There has to be some type of administration fees, but it's our job to do the best by our teachers. Yeah. And so this was brand new for you. What do you want to say to other teachers, especially our young teachers just entering the profession, that you wish you would have known 11 years ago, right?
I told my student teacher, who's still with me now, I said, you need to think about retirement. Yes, you're only 25. You need to get on this train, because
25.
right? To be 25. Retirement is inevitable. We're all going to get there. So it's how best to save now when you have less responsibilities, not as many, family obligations or anything. And you could just put in a little chunk of change every now and then so that you're prepared for, retirement, and you're not just surviving the day-to-day, but you can enjoy your retirement. You can travel, you can live a lifestyle that you want to live, not like, oh, I gotta save this little chunk. I can't do that because I don't have the money for it or the funds for it. So it's save now. It's coming. There's no reading it.
And the big thing that struck me was like our pension. If you work the full 25 years or whatever, or if you don't, the examples that we saw, it doesn't even cover, like 50 or 60% of the income that you're used to.
Right.
So they expect that the voluntary retirement, the 403B or the Roth, it's a part of a part of your plan.
But they don't tell you that.
They don't tell you this. So we're all like, teacher and surprise, and you're like 45 with this big surprise, and you only have a few, a decade left to work. So the last question I just want to ask, just as a young woman, because you're still young, girl,
oh my God.
Still look good, and as a young woman, you're getting married soon, and just what do you want women to know out there as you transition and from singlehood to marriedhood? Just the importance about financial literacy or financial education.
I want to tell women everywhere, just make yourself aware of the options that are out there to best protect ourselves financially without counting on anyone else but yourself. Saving for yourself and saving for things that could happen, emergencies, cars break down, houses flood, all those things happen. We need to prepare now for those what ifs. Don't just wait for the what ifs to hit you. Don't wait for retirement to be 5 years away, because those things are inevitable and things happen and life happens. Women need to be aware of their options. They need to do their homework. They need to save, because no one's going to save you but yourself.
Yes. And I read a great article called Know Your Worth. And so we're going to figure out your net worth.
$1 million.
But the article said, with women living longer than their spouses and with the divorce rate, now I pray that doesn't happen to either one of us, but the divorce rate doubled for women over 50. So you have an 8 in 10 chance of being alone after being together with someone, either through widowhood or divorce, 10 or more years into your retirement. So I don't think women really understand that. And a lot of people project the responsibility of investing onto their men. So with that information, are you going to continue your education and investment?
Of course, because you always have to plan for the what if. Obviously, I want to stay married. I want to do it once and never again. But on the off chance that, it were to go left. Depends on where you're going. I want to be prepared, and I want to have my present and my future secured, and still plan for myself and for the family. And if it were to just be singlehood after marriage, then that's going to be accounted for as well. We need to prepare.
Yes, and ask your questions. Do your homework, like you said. Do your research. The diligence will pay off, because you want to make sure you have enough funds for retirement, especially if you're a woman and possibly going to outlive your spouse or so. So, Jimena, thank you so much for being on today, thank you for just sharing your story, because a lot of times with finances, it's a hidden thing. People don't want to talk about the amount of debt they're in. People don't want to talk about their bad choices. So I lost $2,000 in fees, and I'm just sharing that with the world. Because I'm okay. Because, that makes me look dumb. But, hey, I learned from it. And then
we trust in other companies thinking they have our best interests at heart. Like, you want to trust that they're good people. And they're not bad people. But they're in it for themselves.
For profit. And, they're just doing your homework and finding the best one.
Right.
But I just put my information out there, so hopefully you guys could learn from my mistakes and make better choices, put your money in the right places, and end up living your best life. You said my tagline. That's my tagline. I'm going to make shirts. Live your best life. All right, signing out. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.